Hello, my name is Nicolas Polimanakos. I work here at NORWAC, the Northwest Astrological Conference, that is happening May 21st to May 25th, 2026, just outside of Seattle, in person and online. You can attend this conference. Today I'm with Judith Hill. Hi, Judith.
Hi, Nicholas. Good to see you.
Good to see you again. We go way back. Judith, you got such a history with the conference, being a Pacific Northwest person, right? And being here over the years and doing lectures and so on and so forth. I was glad that we have you back again for the conference.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're speaking three times during the conference. I'll start off first with the biggie here, that you're doing a post-conference workshop that's happening Monday, May 25th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific. Assessing the Natal Health Portrait is the name of your workshop. And I like the beginning here of what I'm going to read some of this. It says, astrologers of all levels, this is very important, can learn to conduct a basic health scan of the natal chart. You talk about this invaluable technique, constitutes a potential lifesaver. Talk about the natal patterns in the chart. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, the natal chart was known as the radix or the root, and it's a template of the fine energies that inform the physical body. So that with the natal chart, you can often, and I have to say legally the term
Hmm.
hypothetically see into the areas of the body that might be a seat of potential disease, might be in some sort of excess or deficiency. And you can also examine the chart from, many different viewpoints that are useful for information about yourself or your family or friends, from a medical perspective.
Yeah, and interesting. Oh, because I've known you over the years, because you have several different texts that you've written here. I mean, one of the main tomes is your medical astrology tome that I have in my library. I think I picked it up at a NORWAC actually when it first came out. I think it was on the table there. They do that, but your workshop. I think you have a history of doing workshops at NORWAC. I know I've been influenced by your work and so on and so forth, but again, I think you're really good at presenting your systematic approach of going through, let's say in this case, assessing the health portrait. So if anybody's interested, you can go to norwac.net and check out our schedule. Let's say you're going to the whole conference, great. You could do that. You can do it by day. But let's say you just want to go to Judith's post-conference workshop. You can just do that solo by itself. Again, you can go to norwac.net to check out the schedule, the prices, everything, right? Judith, that's at the end of the conference, but during the conference, you're speaking two other times, which is amazing. On Friday, May 22nd at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, here's the title of your lecture on Friday. It's Surfing the Transiting Leo-Aquarius Nodal Axis of 2026. Obviously, we're going to start doing a lot of work here as astrologers. I think it's at the very end of June, beginning of July, where the nodes slip in to Aquarius and Leo, North Node Aquarius, South Node Leo. And I'll read a little bit here. It says, the axis of the lunar nodes transits backwards through 12 signs in 18.6-year cycles. And so can you tell us a little bit about what you'll be talking about there?
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at, because we're all going to need this, and looking at the South Node going through Leo and the North Node going through Aquarius, and how to use those as they pass over different planets in you or your client's natal charts. Some tips for reading, and they carry the influence of the eclipses with them. So they're sort of like little circling eclipses going around, and we'll look at how to see if something may be coming up, because in one end things come in, the other end things get released.
Mhm.
That's the dance of the universe. So we're going to be going around looking at the different planets and how they're each affected by the nodes in Leo and Aquarius. And if we have time, discuss a little about the houses, because we only get an hour and 15 minutes, I think. And also what they're going to mean in Leo and Aquarius specifically, and how they influence us on all levels. This isn't a medical focus, even though I'm noted for that. It will include that. will include some medical focus, absolutely, but also daily life. We all have many, many things going on in our lives. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited to give that it's going to be very simple, very ABC,
Yeah.
and again, all levels from beginning to pro will be able to get something out
It
of this.
reminds me of your yellow notebook. It's one of the first ones I grabbed from you. It's probably one of my most worn, but it reminds me, like for instance, this is a great lecture topic. I'm really interested in this because I have a North Node in Aquarius, right? I'm about to have this return happen.
Wow.
But there's going to be a Pluto conjunction at some point with the North Node, and there's going to be a Jupiter South Node conjunction that's going to happen
Mhm.
here too. So I think this is apropos that your timing of doing this. Again, that's happening on Friday, May 22nd. And then on Saturday of NORWAC, this is a fascinating one, lecture
Yeah.
topic. It's called, first of all, I'll say Saturday, May 23rd at 1:45 p.m. Pacific, Neptune's medical impact on body and mind. It says, mysterious Neptune softens the veil between the dense physical and the astral planes of existence. Natal Neptune identifies specific regions of physical vulnerability and psychic porousness. So tell us about this one,
Oh, I'm
Judith.
excited about this lecture. Neptune's my favorite planet. And, last year we did Uranus medical impact on body and mind. And this one is Neptune's medical impact on body and mind, because it has a very strong impact on both. So it does tend to lower that psychic veil. We'll be talking about all things that can happen and give many, many examples. And also its effect on the physical body.
Mm.
It seems to be very sleepy, dreamy planet, lowers boundaries from what we have been able to see medically for several decades now.
Yeah,
I'm
so for those of us, or for those out there watching or attending, let's say they have an Aries sun beginning degrees in the first decan or something like that. They're definitely got Neptune on their sun right now. Stuff like that. I just think about certain people who are immediately affected who maybe would attend a
yeah.
lecture like this because you're going to need it or just try to understand it. I guess understanding is an interesting word when we deal with Neptune because we're trying to talk about the other planets and understanding, but then the understanding thing with Neptune's always nebulous. I think there's times where it's like almost feels like divine insight, and other times we're reaching and grasping, and we don't know if that is what it is.
It's a very fog bank, deceptive kind of energy. It's hard to read it. But I wanted to add something, Nicholas, about the workshops, which
Yeah.
is I made this workshop so that it both goes very well with the last two I gave. So people who've gone to the last two workshops will get like a third leg on this.
Uh,
And people who have not attended the last two workshops, it won't matter. It'll still be useful, fresh information. So
okay. And when you mentioned the last workshops, are you talking about the workshops in past NORWACs that you've
the last
done?
2 years, yes, I've
Yeah.
been doing it on a workshop on medical astrology every last 2 years, and this one can be either it'll be new information.
Mm-hmm.
So those who've taken the last two are not getting a whole lot of repeat. There'll be just a tiny bit, and so people can attend either fresh or if they've attended the last two, they will still enjoy it.
Yeah, and just to let people know, Judith, you mentioned past workshops. Those are all available on the NORWAC site, by the way. There's a whole archive of all the years of all the lectures back there. So for anybody who's interested, you can go look at that part of the website, which is at norwac.net. Again, the schedule's there. Part of this too on the weekends, what we've been doing at the conference is while the conference is going on and the lecture's done, there's a certain amount of time everybody has to grab a glass of water before they go to the next lecture. In that in-between space online, we do these question and answer segments that sometimes I facilitate and host. Laura Nalbandian, speaker, and the host of the conference also hosts. On Sunday, you'll be a part of that. I had one here. Oh, there it is. You're going to be at 3:10 p.m. on the Sunday doing the virtual Q&A. You'll be there with Kay Taylor, who's the president of OPA, Patrick Watson and Cameron Cassidy and yourself, Judith. There'll be a virtual Q&A. And what happens for anybody watching here is when you're online, Judith will be there on Zoom and the other speakers. And somehow a question gets asked, and somehow it just, for at least 25 minutes, there's a lot of input and interaction, and it kind of always goes in an interesting direction. So you're part of the Q&As last year, Judith.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I might be facilitating that one. I won't know for sure, but that happens there, and that happens with pretty much every speaker that's at NORWAC will be part of a virtual Q&A that happens during the weekend. So saying that, Judith, I'm recording this a month before the conference. I can't wait to see you in person. Just outside of Seattle at the DoubleTree. It's like a tradition seeing you there and interacting and you teaching and having a conversation with you. So can't wait to see you.
I love it. I love it. And I love to talk to everybody. Get to meet all the folks coming in, and the young astrologers are always so fun to talk to.
Yeah, yeah, and your classes, I'll be honest here. You get these full houses that come into your rooms. Because I'm usually walking around and there's always that buzz that's happening there right before a lecture starts, and I always stop in to look and say hi to you, and it's full room, and then that you're there, you get right dialed in on your subject matter and jump in. So I can't wait to experience that again, Judith, and to see you. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be fun, and I look forward to it every year. It's sort
Yeah.
of my life.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna throw in a little something in here before I leave. You're gonna have a new book on the table there, correct?
I will.
Yeah. Yeah. So for people who don't know, like you're going in person, are you thinking about going in person still? Because we still have tickets, in-person tickets. There's a bookstore that Greg Nalbandian runs, who's part of the NORWAC family. He's been doing it for years. He's like the top bookstore guy. There's a bookstore with all the books, and there's a lot of newly published books that are put on the front table. So Judith, you're going to have a book on that table.
Well, I'll be doing a debut book signing because the book just came out yesterday.
Yeah, no, that's great. What's the name of the book?
It's called The Astrologer's Love Book, a complete method of compatibility assessment. And it's very deep. It's not fluffy at all. And I illustrated it with my own drawings, and it will be there for a debut. It's not my usual topic, but I thought I would put it together because I spent years and years doing relationship readings. I even worked for a dating service once. So I thought I'd put
Really? You did?
my lifetime experience into my method of how to assess a chart. It's got the top 6 things you look at, the voids. It's a whole method, and I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, for those who are going to be in person, most likely going to have a signing there in a bookstore when you're
Yes.
there. I can't wait to pick up the book, Judith. It's always with you. I think most of the books I've ever picked up with you have been like launches. I've seen them first, like at NORWAC, like on the table there.
This is number 16. It's actually number 17 because there's one I published in cardstock, and I just never did it officially. But yeah, it's one I did just for love.
Yeah, no, that's great. Which is as astrologers, it's like people come to us for certain questions and reasons, and one of the top ones is that one,
I know.
is the love thing, right? So, congratulations, by the way, Judith, on the new book.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So for anybody watching, you're interested and you want to go in person or you want to attend online, you can go to norwac.net. All the information's there. Again, you can get a full weekend pass, you can get day passes, you can get a pre or post conference lecture. There's many different ways you can do it. Hopefully we get to see you in person and online, okay? So on that note, thanks for being here, Judith.
Thank you, and thanks, folks. And it was good to see you again, Nicholas. And I can't wait to see you in person.
See you soon, my friend. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.